Dear students, greetings. I wish to hear that you are all healthy, safe and fine. The lesson that we have taken to learn from this video is Lithosphere 2. This is from Geography 2nd Unit, 9th Standard. And exogenetic process. In the previous lesson, you have read about endogenetic process. You all know now what is endogenetic process. Endogenetic process, the process that are taken place inside the earth is called endogenetic process. Whereas exogenetic process, the processes that are taken place on the earth is called exogenetic processes. You should know the difference between erosion and weathering. Erosion is the earthen materials worn out and transported by the natural forces such as wind and water is called erosion. Whereas weathering is breakdown of rocks, disintegration of rocks. There is no movement involved in weathering. Let's see the different types of weathering and gradation one by one. The earth is a dynamic system that undergoes various changes due to internal and external processes. The continuous interaction of these two processes controls the structure of the Earth's surface. The external processes are the consequence of solar energy and gravitational forces, whereas the internal processes are an outcome of the Earth's internal heat. Weathering is the breaking, disintegration and decomposition of materials of the Earth's crust by their exposure to atmosphere. There are three types of weathering: physical, chemical and biological weathering. Let's see about physical weathering first. It is a breakdown of rocks without changing their chemical composition through the action of physical forces. The constant freezing and thawing. What is thawing? Ice, snow becoming liquid as a result of warming up is called thawing. So the constant freezing and thawing of rocks during the night and day leads to the expansion and contraction of rocks. Cracks are formed and disintegration occurs. There are three types of physical weathering. The first one is exfoliation. Second one, block disintegration. Third one, granular disintegration. Let's see one by one now. Exfoliation. The other name for this is onion skin weathering. Actually, exfoliating is the process of removing dead cells from the surface of skin. Here, exfoliation is the alternate heating and cooling on rounded rock surfaces leads to the peeling of rocks layer by layer like an onion. Sheeting. A rock breaks into sheet and shattering or other forms of exfoliation. Next, granular disintegration. It is due to repeated heat and cooling because of temperature and change. As a result of expansion and a contraction of minerals in rocks causes the rocks to become loose and hollow. Next to granular disintegration, block disintegration. In block disintegration, the rocks are broken into large pieces of stones. Here the rocks are broken into many vertical pieces. The picture was taken in Purulia, West Bengal, India. Disintegration and decomposition of rocks due to chemical reactions is called chemical weathering. How it happens? What are the agents that is through which it is happened? The agents are oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and water. Chemical weathering takes place through the processes of oxidation, carbonation, solution and hydration. This is mainly high in the hot region such as the equatorial and tropical zones. Equatorial, the places near and around equator. Let's see the process one by one. Oxidation. Actually, what is rock? A rock is a solid collection of mineral grains. Every rock is made up of one or more minerals. Oxidation. In oxidation, oxygen in the atmosphere reacts with the iron found in rocks, thus leads to the formation of iron oxide. This process, similar to the rusting of iron, pressure of air and water, is known as oxidation, which result in the weakening of rocks. It is a mixing of water with the atmospheric carbon dioxide forming carbonic acid. Carbonation is important in the formation of caves in limestone region. When the carbonic acid reacts with the carbonate rocks, the rocks get disintegrated. Next to carbonation, solution. The process of dissolution of rock substances in water results in the loosening of the rock particles. This in turn breaks down the rocks. Hydration. Next solution, hydration. Absorption of water into the mineral structure. Certain chemicals in the rock enlarge in size. These minerals found in the rock swell, and this results in the development of cracks and the rock wears down. This type of weathering is called hydration. Next, biological weathering. Biological weathering. It occurs due to the penetration and expansion of plant roots, earthworms, burrowing animals like rabbits, rats, and some human activities. Now, gradation. Gradation or denudation is the leveling, wearing down of the land surface by various natural agents like rivers, groundwater, winds, glaciers, and sea waves. There are two types of gradation. One is aggradation, the other one is degradation. Aggradation is building up of landforms due to natural agents. Degradation is eroding of land surface. So, gradation is erosion plus transportation plus deposition. Agents of gradation. Let's see first running water. That is river. Fluvial landforms. The work of running water, that is river, is the most extensive among all other agents of gradation. Rivers originate on higher landforms like mountains, hills, and plateaus that receive water from various sources like the rain, glaciers, springs, lakes, etc. The place where the river originates is called its source, and where it joins the sea is known as its mouth. Let's see the courses of river. Rivers generally originate from mountains and end in a sea or lake. The whole path that a river flows through is called its course. The course of river is divided into three. The first one is upper course, second one middle course, and the third one the lower course. What is upper course? Erosion is the most dominant action of river in the upper course. In this course, a river usually tumbles down the steep mountain slopes. The steep gradient increases the velocity and the river channel performs erosion with great force to widen and deepen its valley. The land features carved by a river in its upper course are V-shaped valleys, gorges, canyons, rapids, potholes, spurs, and waterfalls. Next, the middle course. The river enters the plain in its middle course. The volume of water increases with the confluence of many tributaries and thus increases the load of the river. What is confluence? The place where more rivers join together is called confluence here. Thus, the predominant action of a river is transportation. Deposition also occurs due to the sudden decrease in velocity. The river in the middle course develops some typical landforms like alluvial fans, floodplains, meanders, oxbow lakes, etc. Next one, the lower course. The river moving downstream across a broad level plain is loaded with debris. Here, S gets silent from debris. The spelling for this is DEBRIS. So, debris brought down from its upper and middle courses. Large deposits of sediments are found at the level bed, and the river splits into a number of channels called distributaries. The main work of the river here is deposition, and it develops typical landforms like delta and estuary. The difference between tributary and distributary you should know. Tributary is small streams that join the main river. Example, river Bhavani. Distributary, river channels that get separated from the main river. Example, river Kolidam. Erosional landforms of river, gorges and canyons. When the river flows through a mountainous region made up of hard rocks, it forms a valley with almost vertical sides called gorge. In India, deep gorges have been formed by Brahmaputra and Indus in the Himalayas. A deep gorge with steep sides that runs for hundreds of kilometers is referred to as canyon. Example, Grand Canyon of the river Colorado in the USA. Next, waterfalls. When a river flows in a region where hard rocks lie over soft rocks horizontally, the soft rocks get eroded quickly and the hard rocks projects outwards. Thus, the river falls vertically from a steep slope to form a waterfall. When the water falls with great force, it erodes the rock material beneath and creates a depression called a plunge pool. Shallow, fast-flowing water in a stream is called a rapid or river jumps. The highest waterfalls in the world is Angel Falls, 979 meter in Venezuela. Next, V-shaped valley. A V-shaped valley is formed by the vertical erosion of the river where the valley is deepened and widened. Pothole. Due to the river action, cylindrical holes are drilled vertically in the riverbed with varying depth and diameter. These are called potholes. Next, meander. As the river loaded with debris flows slowly, it forms sweeping loops and bends. It is referred to as meanders. Oxbow Lake. Meanders in due course of time become almost a complete circle with narrow necks. This in turn gets abundant and forms a lake. This is called an oxbow lake. The world's largest oxbow lake is Lake Chilkat, is Arkansas of USA. Lake Kanwar in Bihar, it is in India, Asia's largest freshwater oxbow lake. Next, depositional landforms of river. So far, we read erosional landforms of river. Now let's see depositional landforms of river. Alluvial fan. A fan-shaped deposition made by the river at the foothills is called an alluvial plain. Floodplain. Fine sediments are deposited on river banks when a river floods. These sediments make the region rich and fertile. This is called a floodplain. As the height of the river banks gets increases due to continuous deposition of a flooded river, leaves are formed. Estuary. Estuary is formed where the river meets the sea. Deposition of silt by the river is not possible here in the estuaries like delta, as if the waves keep on eroding the deposits. Example, River Narmada and Tapdi. Delta, a triangular shaped low-lying area formed by the river at its mouth is called delta. Deltas have fine deposits of sediments enriched with minerals. Example, Kaveri Delta in Tamil Nadu. The Greek letter triangle pronounced delta closely resembles the triangular delta of the river Nile. The Ganga Brahmaputra delta is the largest delta in the world. The world's best known geyser is the Old Faithful Geyser in the Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, USA. As an agent of gradation, underground water creates distinct landforms in limestone regions called karst topography. Karst topography, groundwater is an active agent in limestone regions. Karst topography is formed due to the dissolution of soluble rocks such as limestone, dolomite and gypsum. Limestone topography of western Slovenia extends for a distance of 480 km in length and 80 km in width, which is termed as karst in the Slavic language. The world's largest karst area is the Nullarbor located on the Great Australian coast. Karst regions are also found in southern France, Spain, Mexico, Jamaica, western Cuba, central New Guinea, Sri Lanka and Myanmar. Erosional landforms of underground water. Most of erosion takes place due to the process of solution. When rainwater mixes with carbon dioxide and enters into a limestone region, it dissolves and destroys much of the limestone. As a result, landforms such as terra rosa, lapis, sinkholes, swallow holes, dolines, uvalas, gorge, caves and caverns are formed. Let's see one by one. Terra rosa, Italian term for red soil. Deposition of red clay soil on the surface of the earth is due to the dissolution of limestone content in rocks. The redness of the soil is due to the presence of iron oxide. Next, lapis. When the joints of limestone rocks are corrugated by groundwater, long furrows are formed and these are called lapis. Sinkhole, a funnel-shaped depressions formed due to dissolution of limestone rock is called sinkholes. Their average depth ranges between 3 and 9 meters. The world's deepest sinkhole is China's Xianolai at 2,172 feet. There are as many as 15,000 sinkholes in Illinois. Caves and caverns. Caves and caverns are subterranean features of karst topography. Caves are hollows that are formed by the dissolution of limestone rocks when carbon dioxide in air turns into carbonic acid after its reaction with water. They vary in size and shape. Caverns are the caves with irregular floors. Example, Guptamam caves in western Bihar. All types of deposits in the caves and caverns are collectively called speleothems, which includes travertines, tufa, dripstones. Swallow holes, uvalas, dolines are other erosional features of karst regions predominant in other parts of the world. Depositional landforms of underground water. It is interesting to know that a variety of depositional features are found on the floor ceiling and walls of the caves and caverns of the karst topography. Stalactite, stalagmite, and column. When the water containing dissolved calcite gradually drips from the ceiling of the caves, water evaporates and the remaining calcite hangs from the ceiling. Thus, stalactites are formed. When the calcite deposits rises upward like a pillar, stalagmites are formed. Sometimes, stalactites and stalagmites meet together to form columns or pillars. Glaciers. A glacier is a large mass of ice that moves slowly over the land from its place of accumulation. It is also known as river of ice. The place of accumulation is called snowfield. The height above which there is a permanent snow cover in the higher altitude or latitude is called snowline. Higher the latitude, lower the snowline from sea level. Already you have read about the altitude, mountain altitude. Snowline of Alps is 2700 meter, whereas the snowline of Greenland is just 600 meter. The gradual transformation of snow into granular ice is called firn or neve, and finally it becomes solid glacial ice. Erosional landforms of glacier. Glaciers are powerful erosive agents. Some of the important erosional landforms are cirque, Eretz, Matterhorn, U-shaped valley, hanging valley, fjords, etc. Most of these glacial features are predominantly seen in countries like Switzerland, Norway, etc. Cirque. The glacier erodes the steep side walls of the mountain and forms a bowl-shaped armchair-like depression. It is termed as cirque. Arates are narrow ridges formed when two cirque walls join together back to back and forms narrow knife-like ridges. Next, pyramidal peak. The pyramidal peaks formed when three or more cirques meet together. Example, Matterhorns. U-shaped valley. When the glacier moves down along a river valley, the valley further gets eroded deep and wide to form a U-shaped valley. Hanging valley. These are valleys eroded by tributary glacier and that hangs over the main valley. Next, fjord. Fjords are glacial valleys that are partly submerged in the sea. Depositional landforms of glacier. After getting eroded, fragments of rocks and boulders along with the dirt form glacial debris. Glacial debris gets deposited in the low-lying areas and form depositional features like moraines, drumlins, eskers, kames and outwash plains. Let's see one by one. Moraine. Landforms formed by the glacial deposits of valley or continental glaciers are termed as moraines. They are of various shapes and sizes like ground, terminal and lateral moraines, etc. Drumlin or basket of egg topography. Drumlins are deposits of glacial moraines that resemble giant inverted teaspoons or half-cut eggs. Esker, long, narrow ridges composed of boulders, gravel, and sand deposited by streams of melting water which run parallel to a glacier are called eskers. Outwash plain. An outwash plain consists of glacial sediments deposited by the melting ice at the terminus of a glacier. It appears as an extensive accumulation of sand, gravel, and silt. Wind. When air blows horizontally at or near the Earth's surface is called wind. The erosional, transportational, and depositional action of wind is predominant in arid regions. This is called as aeolian process. Erosional landforms of wind. Some of the erosional landforms of wind are mushroom rocks, Inselbergs, and Jordans. Mushroom rock are made up of hard and soft layers. When a rock's bottom is soft, the sand-laden winds blow against it and wear it down. By the constant wearing down action of the wind, the bottom gets eroded away to form a mushroom-like structure. This is called a mushroom or pedestal rock. Such rocks are found near Jodhpur in Rajasthan. Inselberg. Inselberg is a German term which means an island mountain. Certain hard rocks like igneous rocks are more resistant in wind action. Such isolated residual hills rising abruptly from their surroundings are termed as Inselbergs. Example, Uluru or Ayers Rock, Australia. Jordan. In arid regions, certain rocks have hard and soft layers arranged vertically. When winds blow over these rocks, the soft layers get eroded, leaving irregular crest. These are called Jordans. Depositional landforms of wind. Some of the depositional landforms are sand dunes, borchens, and loess. Sand dune. In deserts, during sandstorms, wind carries loads of sand. When the speed of wind decreases, huge amount of sand gets deposited. These mounds or hills of sand are called sand dunes. There are different types of sand dunes. Borchen. Barge are isolated crescent-shaped sand dunes. They have gentle slopes on the windward side and steep slopes on the leeward side. Transverse dunes. Transverse dunes are asymmetrical in shape. They are formed by alternate slow and fast winds that blow from the same direction. Longitudinal dunes, safe dunes. Longitudinal dunes are long, narrow ridges of sand which extend in a direction parallel to the prevailing winds. These dunes are called safes in Sahara. Loess. The term loess refers to the deposits of fine silt and porous sand over a vast region. Extensive loess deposits are found in northern and western China, the Pampas of Argentina, in Ukraine, and in the Mississippi Valley of the United States. The thickest known deposit of loess is 335 meter found in the Loess Plateau in China. Wave. A steady up and down, up crest and down trough. A steady up and down movement of surface water are called waves. Sea waves are the most powerful agents of gradation, and their erosional, transportational, and depositional process are confined to a very narrow belt along coastal areas. Erosional landforms of waves. Some of the erosional landforms of sea waves are sea cliff, sea cave, arch, stag, beach, bar, and spit, and wave-cut platform. Sea cliffs. Sea cliffs are steep rock faces formed when sea waves dash against them. The rocks get eroded to form steep vertical walls. Sea cave. Prolonged wave attack on the base of a cliff erodes rock materials, which results in the formation of caves. Sea arch. When two caves approach one another from either side of a headland and unite, they form an arch. Example, Neil Island, Andaman and Nicobar. Sea stack. Further erosion by waves ultimately leads to the total collapse of the arch. The seaward portion of the headland will remain as a pillar of rock known as stack. Example, the Old Man of High in Scotland. Wave cut platforms. Flat surface found at the foot of a sea cliffs are called as wave cut platforms. Wave cut platform is also referred as wave cut benches terrace. Depositional landforms of waves. Beach. Sand and gravel are moved and deposited by waves along the shore to form beaches. This is the most dominant and constructive work of the sea. Example, Juhu Beach along Mumbai coast, Puri Beach in Odisha and Marina Beach in Chennai. Bar. A bar is an elongated deposit of sand or mud found in the sea, almost parallel to the shoreline. Spit. A spit is a ridge of sediment attached to the land on one end and terminating in open water on the other end. Spits are common at the mouth of estuaries. Example, Kakinada Spit. Dear students, I hope this video will help you to understand the whole lesson. I'll meet you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.